Hello everyone, welcome to week number 3, Database Systems. This is the lecture video and I'm going to cover database design, um, its process and particularly the ERD. So this is the lecture video outline, uh, and so now that we have installed the database management system, we are in a position to design a database. So the overall process for designing a database can be really simplified to something like this. Of course, there's a lot more in detail and there are many sub-steps, but as usual, designing anything, the first thing to do is to get a requirement done and some descriptions about it. And of course, this is probably the longest and maybe most difficult portion of the designing. And then you actually design the database using some tools like ERD and have some test data. And then test the database that you have designed and then actually implement it in the database management system of your choice. And then this doesn't have to be the last portion, but at some point you want to incorporate other features like database programming and whatever other features that you want to incorporate. Um, this week we want to learn how to use the ERD, entity relationship diagram, and this is the main tool that we are going to use. And I'm going to use this as a way to explain some of the things that are important for this week. There are many ERD softwares and tools available for you, but for this class, I'm going to use Lucidchart because this is free and it's fairly easy to do, and you can use whichever you want. But I'm just going to use this ERD for now. And so let me take you to here and see how it looks like. So if you click on this guy here, looks something like this. So I've already created a simple ERD, and let's see if I can move this out a little bit here. But this one has 3 tables, and the way you create tables in here is just simply, if you don't see this one, you can search it on the tools here. But anyway, you just basically drag and drop. So to create a table, let me move this up here a little bit. So we'll have a little space here. And maybe move here. It's a little tricky. Okay. But anyway, so just pick and choose, click, drag out here. So I like this one because it gives you all the necessary types, and then you simply type it in. So let's say I want to create a customer table, right? So let's type in that, and then I'm going to use, maybe whatever you want to do. If you have, let's say I want to create a customer ID, then maybe you want to have the first name column, then maybe you want to have a last name column, and then maybe one more. So you come over here and do that. It'll give you 4 rows, and then here maybe you want to have order uh, ID like that, right? But then you want to specify what type data type it'll be. So you can say, customer ID could be an integer. And then maybe the first name could be a variable character. And then you're going to assign it how long it's going to be. 25, maybe a little bit too short, but whatever, right? And then, yeah, do that. here, chart, last name 25, order ID, maybe this should be an integer, so I'm going to type in integer, right? And you probably want to pick and choose which one's going to be a primary key, so I'm just going to pick this one as usually the name of the table and the first column should sort of match, and so that should be a primary key. This one, we don't need a key for that. We don't need a key for that. This one, I'm going to use a foreign key because this here, order ID, is actually a primary key in another table, so I'm going to do that. But anyway, that's how you do it. And then, when you want to establish a relationship between the two, this is what we call a cardinality. Let me get back to the outline here. So here's a note about cardinality. It's just the relationship between tables, and so between the tables, it can be a one row here. How is it related to a row here? It can be one-to-one relationship, one row relating to one row here, or one row that can be related to many of them here. So you can have a one-to-one relationship, or you can have one-to-many, or many-to-one relationship, or many-to-many relationships. And so you pick and choose how they should be. And so let's say I'm going to pretend that I need to establish that. So I'm going to move this out here a little bit, and then what you do is you click over here, move your mouse over here, and just do that, right? And then you can choose here, and then here's the one you want. And so I'm going to do maybe one on this side, and on the other side I'm going to have maybe many or zero or many possibilities. So you establish that, right? In terms of these kind of notations, you'll be using, let's say here, you'll be using what we call a crow feed. So there are different notations that ERD will be using, and you're welcome to use whichever you like for your company. But maybe for this class, we'll be using a crow's foot notation. There are like Chen or Barker or stuff like that. When you get to let me show you where this is at, but you can find, hold on. Here is some common notations. This says many, this is one and only one, and stuff like that. So you can pick and choose whatever relationship that fits between the two tables. Okay, and then let's see here. What you want to do is after you design the ERD, you want to, let me get rid of this guy here. What you want to do is you want to export this, and that's really a nice feature for using a ERD program like this, because it'll translate this drawing or diagram into a SQL script. So you click on this export here, and then bam, it creates the SQL script for you. Of course, you can write your own, but this is nice and easy. And you can pick whichever platform you're using. You can, I'm going to use a SQL Server, and then they used to have a little button here, but if you don't, then you can just drag and copy all these things. Okay, so you can do that, and then what you want to do is you want to test it out on some online SQL platform. So here is a SQL Fiddle. So I'm just going to start from scratch. And what you want to do here is when you come here, this gives you option of several platforms. And since we're going to be using a SQL Server, we'll be using this one. 2019 is almost the same, so I'm just going to pick that. You just paste that. And then what you want to do is you want to build a schema. So when this changes to a hand, just click on it. And then like that, and then it'll build a schema. Just because the schema or this set of tables databases is ready doesn't mean everything here is perfect. It just means that there's not a whole lot of problems, which is a little funny. But anyway, so once this is kind of done, you can write your own sample records here, and then do a query to just test them out. But I think this is okay for this particular example. So what I'm going to do is just go back here and show you that what I want to do is, so I already tested here, so I'm going to implement it on database management system. So I am going to start my server here. Maybe I'll just start from scratch here. No, I come here and I'm going to get rid of this guy here. Delete. I'm going to new database. I'm going to give it a name. And then click OK. And here's test one. So I'm going to do a new query. I'm going to paste that in, and I'm going to make sure this is on, and I'm going to execute. All right, so everything looks okay, and I'm going to expand this. I'm going to expand the tables, and lo and behold, there are 3 tables. And then you can right-click on here to see, select 1,000 rows. Obviously, there's not going to be any because we didn't put any records in. But as you can see, these are the tables that I have, or the records that I have created. So that's how you basically test them out. So that's the basic flow on how we create them. Hopefully this is a good overview of how to design a database. As you go through some of the exercises, be sure to try different things. This is it for now, and look forward to receiving your. Take care. Bye-bye.